guys, Shane Stars of DroidMotorX.com. Today I'm bringing you guys the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 unboxing. As you guys can see, this one is for the Verizon network. Now the only difference between this and the Galaxy Note 2 on other networks is that this one includes a 4G LTE chip. So this one will run on Verizon's 4G LTE network. I'm sure you guys have probably seen lots of reviews, but Verizon, like always, lagged a couple months behind on the release of the Galaxy Note 2. Otherwise, you would have seen this unboxing long ago from me. But anyways, let's jump into this unboxing. So the first thing that we're going to do here is take a look at the front of the box. As you guys can see, we have the Verizon logo and then Samsung Galaxy Note 2. If we turn to the top of the box, you'll see even more branding, and trust me, it gets really heavy on the Verizon branding with this device. If we flip it to the back, you'll see the Samsung logo. This is the 16 gigabyte version. You have your packaged contents there, as well as it shows you that it's running Android. It has the HD AMOLED screen. So we'll go ahead and take it out of the sleeve. And you see further branding to get Samsung Galaxy Note 2. It's kind of a, you can see it's kind of a shiny silver there. We'll go ahead and pop the top. And bam! There's that big, huge 5.5 inch device. Now we'll get to this bad boy in just a second. We're going to go ahead and see what else is in the package. So we'll set this to the side for now. And we'll take this off. If we dig down into the package, we find a Verizon start guide. That'll give us plenty of reading material for the holiday season there. Spend lots of time reading that. Then we have this USB cable here as well. So we'll set that to the side. We have the power brick that plugs into the USB cable. And we have this humongous 3100 milliamp hour battery. I mean, that should be enough to power that 5.5 inch HD AMOLED display for lots and lots of hours. So we should get lots of screen on time with this big, humongous battery. One thing that I will say is it's not as incredibly enormous as I thought it would be. But that's all for the contents of the box. There were no headphones that came with it or anything like that. So we'll move on to the device. Okay, so now it's time to take a look at what you guys really came to see. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. This would be the slate gray version. We'll go ahead and take off the screen protectors, starting with the back side. And everybody's been yelling and complaining about the heavy branding. I mean, look how big this Verizon 4G LTE logo is. I mean, I can kind of understand the Verizon. This is probably unnecessary, although it is the only one that has Verizon's 4G LTE, so they're pretty excited about that, obviously. And then you have your Galaxy Note 2 branding there at the bottom. Other than this, I mean, this looks pretty sleek and sexy, just like the Galaxy S3. I really like the silver here. It looks kind of like silver wood, or I mean, it is definitely obviously plastic, but it looks kind of like a brushed aluminum. It just gives it a real classy look. It's not an industrial look by any means, but it's more of an ergonomic, just kind of a classy look. If we turn it around to the front, we can go ahead and peel off the front screen protector. On the front, not as much branding. You see you have your Samsung logo here, and then what everyone's complaining about is this Verizon home button, which to me, Verizon always, I mean, it should be no surprise. The Droid DNA gets a much bigger Verizon branding on the top of its device. So really, what difference does it make that it's on the home button? It does kind of look ugly, but you knew that Verizon was going to do it, so why are we complaining about that? Anyhow, we'll move on. We'll kind of do a tour of the device. So from the front of the device, you do have your speaker there for when you're in calls. So you have your front-facing camera. You've got some LED lights there. You do have that gaudy Verizon branded home button. If we turn it around to the back, you've got this 8 megapixel camera. Very nice for shooting 1080p videos and also very high quality photos. You've got a flash there, and you do have a nice loudspeaker for blaring your speakerphone or any kind of audio from YouTube or what have you. You do have an S Pen there as well, so that comes out, and that will be handy whenever we get a little further into this unboxing. So on the right side of the phone, you do have a power button. One thing I like about the power button is that it's not all the way at the top of the device. If it was way up here, then I'd have to like really scoot up to grab it, but because it is where it is, I can just grab it with one hand there. Makes it really easy to access that power button. If we go to the top, you'll see that we do have what looks to be a microphone and also a 3.5mm headphone jack. If we turn it around to the side, we've got our volume rockers there. If we go down to the bottom, we have another microphone and a USB port. Okay, so we're going to flip it over to the back, and we'll go ahead and take the back cover off and install the battery. So like I said, the back is made of plastic. When you take it off, it's going to feel like you're going to break it, but you're not. It is kind of like flimsy plastic, but it is what it is. It looks really nice though with that brushed finish. So we'll go ahead and install our battery. And before I put the cover back on, I just wanted to show you guys something that's pretty important here. We have not only our SIM card reader, but we also have a micro SD card slot that's expandable up to 64 gigabytes. So it comes with 16 gigabytes, but you can expand it all the way up to 64 gigabytes of memory. We'll go ahead and put the back cover back on. Okay, then we'll turn it over to the front and we'll go ahead and power up the device. So while that's powering up, we'll go ahead and run through some of the specs. It is a massive, so the thing is almost 6 inches by 3.25 inches. It is 0.37 inches thick, so that is pretty thick, or I guess you could say 9 millimeters thick. The screen is 5.5 inches. It's 720p high definition super AMOLED screen at 1280 by 720. That's a pixel per inch of 265. Now that massive 3100 milliamp hour battery is good for 22 hours of talk time, which is freaking crazy considering that I didn't get nearly that much on my Droid DNA. Standby time on 4G is 300 hours, which is pretty cool. You should be able to get through an entire day on that massive battery, even if you're doing lots of internet browsing, if you're looking at videos and all that great stuff. Internally, it's running a Samsung Exynos 4 quad-core that's clocked at 1.6 gigahertz, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. The camera is an 8 megapixel camera, and it shoots in 1080p. The front-facing camera right there is 1.9 megapixels. So now we'll just look at a few features of touchwiz. It is running a touchwiz UI. So with that quad-core processor, it's going to fly through your home screens. It's going to fly through your app drawer. I did notice that it is not infinitely scrolling, but I think that you might can change that in the settings. We do have some awesome applications that come with touchwiz, like the Notepad, S-Note, and that's what really makes this stylus a nice thing to have. So as you can see, you can just kind of hover over the screen and it'll kind of see, I mean, it does recognize the pen without you actually having to touch the screen, which is pretty cool. So here we can kind of write Droid Modder X rules, and we'll close that. There's some other notable features here. If we press and hold the back button, it's going to bring up this list here. Now this is where you can do multi-window viewing. So if I wanted to pull up the internet browser, you just hold that and drag it to the screen. And that's going to open up the internet browser. And then if I wanted to, let's just say I wanted to view a video, I could pull the video player over and then add my browser up top. I can also flip those. I can make it bigger or smaller. I can actually grab this and make it smaller if I wanted to do more video browsing, or if I wanted to do more internet browsing, like so. So that's a really cool feature. This just really brings true multitasking to the smartphone world. So we'll go into settings and we'll go down to the About Phone. It's currently running Android 4.1.1. I heard that there was another software update that was coming, 4.1.2. That has already been leaked, but it has not been made official just yet. That will have some bug fixes and some new features that will be added. Overall, so far, this device looks like an awesome device. I'm going to put it up to a couple of other devices real quick just so you can see how incredibly big it is. Okay, so from left to right we have the Droid DNA and the Note 2 and the Nexus 7. So you see this is like right in between that. This could be used as your primary device, just your phone and your tablet combined. You could do away with this, you could do away with your regular phone and just have a phone and tablet in one. Some people call them phablets, some people call them tones. You can call it whatever you want. It's just a humongous phone. I'll show you guys the thickness of the device. Now it has to store that humongous battery in there, but you can kind of see the difference between the Note 2 and the Droid DNA. And then we'll compare that to the Nexus 7 with a thickness there as well. So you guys kind of get a picture of how beastly it is. I mean, it's just a solid, huge device. I mean, you're going to look like a boss man with this device when you carry it. People are going to turn heads. I mean, people are going to think, man, is that a phone or a tablet that he's holding to his head? Definitely a conversation starter. I'm not 100% sure if I love this humongous screen. But I've heard so many people say that when they got used to the Galaxy Note 2, they couldn't go back to their 4.7-inch phone. So I guess I'll see over the next couple of weeks. I can already tell that it may be difficult to, type with this. So if we bring up messaging, it does come with the swipe feature. So you can swipe your words. Now, really, I can reach the entire keyboard without any problem. So I can use the keyboard with one hand, that's not a problem. And I can get to that home button and also to the power button with one hand. That's really not an issue. Getting over to the volume rocker is kind of an issue. You see how I kind of had to throw it down to get to the volume rocker, or you can just use your hand here. Going to the notification bar is really a stretch. So I mean, it is such a stretch for me. I don't have humongous NBA player hands, so for me, I'll probably have to just grab that with the other hand to pull that down. If I had a ROM on here like Paranoid Android, it would probably be perfect. But anyhow, guys, we're going to have tons of ROM reviews. We're going to have a root guide posted as soon as possible on this thing. And lots more coverage to come for the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Be sure to click the like button if you did. Pull the trigger on that subscribe button for more coverage on this device and all the other Android devices. Thanks, guys, for watching. I will see you in the next one.